Good morning, and we are live. Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. Doesn't matter what Trump does, he's getting overshadowed by Epstein, and we're getting new revelations. So let's dig into it. Good morning, everybody. If you want to just, let's start this by setting a framing of just how serious this is, just how let's just set the mood. This is, I referenced this before, but I didn't play the video for you. I want to actually play the video for you. This is Melinda Gates talking about her husband's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
You know, it was also widely reported that Bill had a friendship or business or some kind of contact with Jeffrey Epstein, and that you were not, that was very upsetting to you. Did that play a role in the divorce at all in this process?
Yeah, as I said, it's not one thing, it was many things. But I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you made that clear to him?
I made that clear to him. I also met Jeffrey Epstein exactly one time.
Did you?
Yes, because I wanted to see who this man was. And I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards. So
yeah, if you want to go look it up, that there's more to that, but yeah, it gives you just some idea the level of people we're talking about here. This does go well beyond Trump. This is the lords of the universe out there. These are people, billionaires. These are very powerful politicians that we're talking about. There are a lot of people very, very badly wanting this to go away, but Trump is pudding brained. He is dying right before us. He is, he is in no shape to handle any kind of crisis whatsoever, much less handle something that, I mean, they did this themselves. We've mentioned it before. I talked about it on House Show. I've mentioned it here several times. This was an unforced error. This is something that nobody was asking about. They blew this up. Nobody was asking about Epstein anymore. And boy, howdy, since they did, it has just led to one thing after another. We've gotten some new pictures that have come out. CNN did some digging and found some pictures that they'd never shown us before with Jeffrey Epstein at Donald Trump's wedding. You've got Trump trying to downplay his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, but here he is at the wedding. There's actually, this is really worth looking at. K-File over at CNN did a good job on this. You should go through these pictures. This isn't somebody that Trump didn't know. This isn't somebody that Trump didn't hang out with. This is definitely 100%. Yeah, these guys were butts, and it's just painfully obvious as you see those pictures. But yeah, this unforced error has really opened up. Thank God, because let's face it, one person's gone to jail over this, and it's a woman. It was Epstein's assistant. None of the men have gone to jail. None of the men have been exposed. I mean, we've got allegations out there, but Nothing's been done to any of them. But since they, thank God, are as imbecilic and stupid and ham-handed and dumb as they are, they have really opened this can of worms up, and it is really moving the needle. I mean, it is. I've just been amazed at how much this has actually moved the needle. Republicans have bowed to pressure, and in the House Oversight Committee, they have rebelled, and they are subpoenaing Ghislaine Maxwell. They are going to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell. I actually have subpoenaed her. This sent panic throughout the Republican establishment. They went into full freak out mode. I mean, it was really, really so. That's hilarious, man. Yeah, absolutely. Deploy the rakes. They are stepping on rakes at every turn, every single turn. And yeah, this seems to be just the stupidity of it. I mean, it is amazing watching this happen. Michael Walk, 3487, Trump and the Republicans are throwing everything at the wall and nothing is sticking. Stupidity at its finest. Yeah, they have, I mean, everything from trying to crap all over Martin Luther King Jr., which I have to say his daughter had the best response to that. They released all the investigative information on Martin Luther King Jr., which you have to understand, this was done by bigoted cops in the 60s. It's unflattering for Martin Luther King Jr. It is. It was meant to be a distraction, and nobody cared. Nobody cared. Nothing is working. And Martin Luther King's daughter just responded perfectly. She responded with one line. Now do the Epstein files. Nothing is making this go away. Nothing. E.T., my man, always here with the Republicans closing the House early. This makes a great time to do lots more shadow hearings and empty chair town halls. Bring them to task. Yeah, that's where we were going with this. I mean, they are in sheer panic. Mike Little Johnson. That's his new nickname, by the way, Little. Mike Little Johnson. Went into full freak out mode. As soon as Republicans rebelled and subpoenaed Ghislaine Maxwell, he shut Congress down till September. I mean, if nothing else tells you that they have no clue what they're going to do about this, this was ham-handed and obvious. This is enraging their base. Absolutely enraging their base. They are absolutely 100%. They are terrified of this. They are absolutely terrified of this. And just again, it's comedic. They're running into walls. They're, like you said, stepping on rakes. It is absolutely hilarious, their reaction to this. And I mean, by shutting down Congress, even Ann Coulter came out and says, nothing screams you're innocent like shutting down Congress. Jordan B. M83, Trump and Republicans are protecting all the Epstein men. That's kind of the thing that bothers me a little bit. That's what's kind of being lost. I am enjoying watching Trump go through this. But this is more than Trump. This really is more than Trump. William Brown, MBA. Speaker Creepy Peeps to the General Johnson from Louisiana. I call him Little Johnson. But yeah, keep stirring the pot, folks. Keep at it. Keep at it, my people. Giving Todd Blanche a month to think. Yep, that's exactly what this is. This is just sheer panic to try to give Trump some lead time to try to do something to set the narrative on this, because they have completely lost control of the narrative. That is hilarious. Monica Meadows, D10. I call Mike Johnson the Keebler grinder elf. Yeah, there's something weird there. There's definitely something weird there. I think if revelations came out that Mike Little Johnson had a Grinder account, I think that would be the least shocking news of the century. But yeah, when I say everybody's in full freakout mode, I mean everybody's in full freakout mode. The deputy attorney general has reached out to Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney and asked for a one-on-one meeting. This is wildly inappropriate. Wildly inappropriate. This is how panicked they are. It's one thing for a prosecutor, if there were an investigation, it's one thing for a prosecutor to reach out to a defendant, but it is another thing completely for the deputy attorney general to look for a sit down. I can't stress to you how this does not happen. This is not normal. Nobody does this. And this is where I kind of want to inject a little bit of a roundtable in here, because there are so many speculations, so much speculation out there as to what the intent here is. What do you think that meeting is going to be like? Because it's going to happen in the next few days, folks. It is. Todd Blanche is going to sit down with Ghislaine Maxwell. What do you folks think of it? And if you're watching this on replay, right down here, there's a panel button. Open up this panel so you can see the chat and see what the folks in the live chat are actually talking about. Definitely one very popular speculation. Rose Blue 4205 maybe a pardon for silence about Trump and the files. That seems to be one of the more popular. A lot of people have speculated that, they're not just that they're going to offer her clemency or a pardon or something along those lines so that she'll sit down and just say, oh, no, I never saw Trump. No, never. No, Donald Trump hated Jeffrey Epstein or whatever the hell she would testify to. But some people are thinking that, maybe threat time, as in the cameras might shut off if you don't cooperate. I mean, there is a lot of speculation out there. That's why this is so wildly inappropriate. Folks, Todd Blanche isn't just the deputy attorney general. He is literally Donald Trump's defense attorney. Y'all remember where he picked up his 34 felony convictions in New York? That was Todd Blanche. That was his defense attorney. He had his defense attorney installed at the Department of Justice. I mean, not that Pam Bondi wasn't, in the tank enough, but he literally had Todd Blanche, his personal defense attorney, installed at the Department of Justice. And that is who was going to go meet with Ghislaine Maxwell. Just the look of it alone screams corruption, screams cover up. This is why this isn't done. And think about it, folks. What are they going to be asking her for? This isn't a prosecutor talking to the subject of an investigation. This is post-conviction. This is jailhouse snitching. So really the only thing on the table is, how much time can I shave off for what I can give you? And just think about, even if you wanted to be the most generous person in the world, if you wanted to be the most generous person in the world looking at this, it still looks wildly inappropriate. It is wildly inappropriate. Rose Blue, yeah, no shit. Thanks for being here, 2T Combat Vet. I appreciate you supporting the show. Babylon 01, this guy is a believer. Saw him in the latest Frontline documentary. Yeah, he is. He really is. He is in the tank for Trump. This is his Roy Cohn. Catherine Ryan, P70 is totally corrupted. That's what's so bad about this. These people don't care what they do to our institutions. They don't care at all. They are in complete freak out and panic mode. And they should be. They should be. This is something that should have been fleshed out before the election. This is something, this investigation, Joe Biden didn't use this. Joe Biden didn't come out and make announcements. Oh, we've got a Department of Justice investigation going on here that's going to bury Trump, like Trump would do. None of that. None of that. Vincent Day, thanks for always being here, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. One second. But yeah, they are in full freakout mode, and they are just absolutely flailing. This is Trump. We saw this. Unless you've been in a coma, you saw that Donald Trump did this, where he threatens President Obama.
Tulsi Gabbard has submitted a criminal referral to the Department of Justice. From your perspective, who should the DOJ target as part of their investigation?
And FYI, if you don't know, Tulsi Gabbard's using her position in the intelligence community. She has sent a referral to the Department of Justice claiming there was criminal behavior in the Russia investigation, which is just a load of crap. But we'll talk more about that in a minute. When he's talking about the criminal referral here, that's what he's talking about.
Tulsi Gabbard has submitted a criminal referral to the Department of Justice. From your perspective, who should the DOJ target as part of their investigation? What specific figures in the Obama administration?
Well, based on what I read, and I read pretty much what you read, it would be President Obama. He started it. And Biden was there with him, and Comey was there, and Clapper. The whole group was there. Brennan.
Now, we've talked about this before. His mind is mush, 100% mush. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, but watch him stray off here.
They were all there in a room right here. This was the room. This is much more beautiful than it was then, but that's okay.
It's not. It looks like a whorehouse now. You have turned our Oval Office into something that looks like a cheap brothel.
Nice pictures up. They came out of the vaults. They were in there for 100 years. This is much more beautiful. We have the Declaration of Independence now in the room, which wasn't here. I guess people didn't feel too good about putting it here, but I do.
Yeah. He can't stay focused on anything. He can't. His mind is gone. It is gone. And the reason they're doing the old Obama cheated thing is because he is so addled. We've seen it before. We have shown it before. Nothing new. He cannot keep track of events. He could not keep track of things that are happening now in real time. He can't talk about what's happening today. So they had to come up with something for him to say that was far enough back and that he said enough times that he can repeat it. So what did they go back to? Russia, Russia, Russia. But this is just how ham-handed and stupid this is. V-Man 29397, thoughts on blue states threatening to counter Texas gerrymander with gerrymander. We're going to talk about that, brother. I think it's a good idea. By the way, it's funny that Trump's attempts to get presidential immunity now shield Obama. Yeah, they do. That's one of the things that, thanks for bringing that up. We'll talk about that first. This whole thing that they push for with the 2025 project, they can't put a hand on Obama. Even if you wanted to be, instead of what we were talking about before, being as generous as you can possibly say, that just be as conspiratorial as you could possibly be and claim that President Obama did terrible things. They can't touch him because of what Trump did. And they know it. They know it. This is meaningless, completely meaningless. But it's actually worse than that. It is. It's actually worse than that. Forgive, this is clunky. This video, I was searching for it on Google, but it is everything you search for right now brings up the Epstein stuff now. And everything to do with Trump is so overshadowed that any searches just immediately bring you back to this. That I actually had to go to Threads on this, and I found this. People are bringing this back up, but Threads player is a little bit clunky. There is no pause button as far as the desktop client is concerned if you're not showing it on your phone. And no, I don't run the show on my phone. So yeah, stick with me here. But this is Trump. You just saw him. Oh, criminal referrals. This goes all the way to the top. This goes to Obama. Russia was, and then this is Trump in 2019. Pardon me, 2018.
And I've said this many times.
Here we go. Remember, it's all criminal. It's treason. It's treason. Russia, Russia, Russia. It's treason.
Let me be totally clear in saying that, and I've said this many times, I accept our intelligence community's conclusion that Russia's meddling in the 2016 election took place. Could be other people also. There's a lot of people out there.
And so did every report, everything. This is a load of crap. He knows it. They know it. They know they can't touch him. They know that this boils down to one thing. This man cannot remember anything complex. So they're going to desperately try to run the election was stolen again to their base because they had some success with that at one point in history. They're cooked. They are done. Their base is furious about this. Their base is absolutely furious about this, and it just keeps getting worse. Not only did we see the new pictures out of CNN, this drop. The Democrats they're not just sitting on their hands with their thumbs up their butt. They have gone to work on the Epstein investigation. Ron Wyden attempted to subpoena bank records from Jesus, JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank. Turns out when they were doing the investigation, they didn't look into Jeffrey Epstein's financial transactions. Folks, there's something called a suspicious activity report that banks, they report to the Treasury Department anything that looks like it could be criminal, anything that looks like it just could be suspicious. They're called SARS, suspicious activity reports. Folks, there was $1.5 billion in suspicious activity reports filed on Jeffrey Epstein with almost 5,000 separate transactions. And the DOJ looked at none of them. They've gone back and they've reviewed the investigation, and Ron Wyden is trying to subpoena those records from the various banks. And the Republicans, again, in sheer panic mode. Ron Wyden is on the Senate Finance Committee, which is chaired by Mike Crapo. No, we can't do that. What are you doing? We can't look at that. You want to actually look at the financial transactions from these broligarchs? You want to see money changing hands between Trump and Epstein? You want to see money changing hands from Fortune 500 CEOs and Epstein? No, we can't do that. Meanwhile, their base is screaming, this is what you promised us. And you've got the Democrats working as hard as they can to deliver it. This isn't going anywhere. This is a fire in a forest. It is raging and the wind is a blowing. I mean, there is nothing they can do. They can shut down Congress. It will not matter. This isn't going to go away. When they get back in September, Democrats will be working to get these subpoenas again. Now they're going to go to work on their own members. They're going to go, they really are. Thomas Massey and these Republicans that are like, hey, we were promised to release this stuff. We're going to release it. There's just a handful of them. They're going to go to work on those members. Believe you me. But it will not matter because this is going to carry over into the midterms. Their base will be dejected. And our base will clearly know, if you want to see this information, if you want the subpoenas to go out to look at Jeffrey Epstein's financial transactions, to see who was giving him money, you've got to elect Democrats. You just do. Republicans aren't going to do it. Randy Ryder, 6776. Thanks for being here, man. Little Mikey John cannot say the rest is a complicit and Dumple and Dumple had Epstein disappeared. Keep up the good work, sir. No, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you. Yeah, that 3 minutes that disappeared off the videotapes is kind of looking important right now. But this is just burying everything. And yeah, that's a good thing in some ways because it means Trump can't shake it. But there are some things going on that are really, really, really a problem. And I just don't know which direction to go first. There's about half a dozen things that have happened. Let's just start with the economics of it. Japan cut a deal. Trump finally got one. Remember 90 deals in 90 days? Yeah, Trump finally got a deal. Japan signed a deal that works out to 15% tariffs. Let me explain. And no, this isn't just because Trump's an idiot and I can't stand Republicans and this, that, and the other. No, this is really a bad this is a problem. This is a major problem. This is just how ham-handed and stupid they are. You know, they cut this deal with Japan, and we have 15% tariffs now in Japan. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that do? We all live in the real world. These things aren't academic. I mean, these things really mean something. Well, what this means is going forward, yes, your cars are going to be more expensive. Yes, your goods are going to be more expensive. Things that you buy from Japan are going to be 15% more expensive. But they're not going to be as expensive as what's made here. So GM just had to report to its shareholders that this year, Trump tariffs so far have cost them $1 billion. $1 billion. They've lost $1 billion in profit. Stellantis reported losing $500 million. See, what this does is creates, Butlick has to be one of the, and Peter Navarro had to be two of the stupidest, and even Scott Bessent have to be some of the stupidest people on the face of the planet. They just do. I don't know how they ended up where they did. I think it's kind of a failing up situation. I'm not sure. But folks, this is what they just created. If you are Toyota and you make your cars in Japan, you've got a 15% tariff. If you're General Motors and you've got a US plant, your steel, your copper, everything that you use to build your car just got 25% more expensive. Yeah. And if the parts are made in Canada or Mexico, they're even more expensive. So if you're Toyota and you build, I don't know, trucks in Tomball, Texas, do you buy materials to build your cars here, which is more expensive? Or do you build them in Japan, where you're only going to pay a 15% tariff on that car? You're going to have a 10% competitive advantage at minimum over all domestic manufacturers. So what does that encourage you to do? Do you compete on equal footing with GM and bring your parts in like they do with the trucks they build in Tomball, Texas? Or do you just move your factories back to Japan and enjoy a 10% right off the top before anything happens advantage over your competitors? Minimum 10%. It's 10 to 35%, actually, depending on where the vehicle's made. Because, our Canadian friends make a lot of our vehicles. Our Mexican friends make a lot of our vehicles for Ford and GM. And this is Idiocracy come to life. If you've never seen the movie Idiocracy, go see it. Just go see it. You'll hate yourself for watching it. You will. You're like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever seen. But by the end of it, you'll be like, oh my freaking God, we're living in Idiocracy. We're just living in Idiocracy. It's this stupid. So yeah, Trump is trying to sit there and say, great, made a deal. He's going to take it to the stupids. He's going to take it to MAGA. He's going to take it to the morons. They're going to like, woo, Trump made a deal, going to collect that tariff money. That tariff check going to come in. Because remember, those idiots actually think that they're going to get paid from this. They really do. They really do. You need to go. I don't recommend this ever, but I'm going to recommend it now. You need to go and look at some right-wing social media. These morons really believe they're going to get paid from this. They really do. They don't realize they're going to lose their frickin' jobs. And this right here, U.S. beef, $9.26 a pound, Canada, $79.99 plus conversion. Skeet Sayre. This is something else that's happening at the exact same time that we're having this absolute stupidity, the negotiation, just the failure to look out for America's best interests. We're also seeing mass inflation. Me and Mrs. Texas Paul went to the store yesterday, and it was shocking. It was shocking. I'm not kidding. It was shocking. You're talking a minimum 10% increase in everything. Some things were as much as 30% more expensive. No stocking up for me. Shit, I can't afford it. Man, I went to look at a standing rib roast in the butcher section. The butcher slapped it out of my hands and ran a credit check on me. We bought 2 gallons of milk, and I swear to God, I paid enough for that milk for that cow to have a boob job. I mean, inflation is spiking. It is. It just is. And, we're going to get the whole taco thing again. Perfect timing. We're going to get the whole taco thing again in a couple of weeks when they delay the tariffs again. And Wall Street's going to say, woo, yay. And, because they don't believe any of these tariffs are going to happen. But right now, France, Macron, Schultz in Germany, the EU, they're publicly saying there will be no deals. We're not doing it. We're not playing this game. So at some point, those tariffs are going to have to go into place. Right? You can always tell people that have watched Idiocracy because they always bring up President Camacho. Terry Crews plays President Camacho. And yeah, at least he was a nice guy, right? I mean, yeah. Hilarious movie. Hilarious movie. But yeah, what are you folks seeing? I know I was shocked at the grocery store. Are you also seeing? Are you seeing? I'm talking basic groceries. Soda is skyrocketing again. I didn't buy any soda yesterday. None. I'm drinking water. I've got tumblers that I keep full of water. Coffee and water. And coffee's skyrocketing too. If you haven't bought coffee in a while, I'm sorry. I am sorry. Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you. This is some cool packaging. It showed up. Thank you. I'm very grateful. Oh God, I wish this was smell-o-vision. Oh, that smells so good. Oh, I love coffee beans. I have an addiction. I have a problem, folks. I do. Coffee makes me way too freaking happy. Thank you. And it's very good, by the way. We opened the other bag and ground it up. It's what we're drinking right now. It's very good, by the way. Thank you. David Barnett, thank you for being here, sir. For David Barnett, 4246. The prices have gone crazy. I saw somebody mention that, yeah, home sales have plummeted. We're going into a cycle, headfirst into a cycle of stagflation. If you folks are, I'm dating myself here. I remember stagflation, folks. This is not good. Soaring prices and the economy is tanking. This is not good. This is really, and these morons have way too long left in office. I am telling you, everything that happens leads to the exact same message. We have to put Congress back in the hands of Democrats. Folks, Republicans are using the word austerity again. Austerity. And you folks that are economically savvy understand what a nightmare it is when the economy is slowing down and these morons start talking about austerity. This is bad, folks. This really is bad. But it's not the only thing that's going on that's just being overshadowed. I mean, we're starting to see reports from people that have been held in ICE custody, and it's not pretty. It is not pretty. The facility in Miami, the Chrome North facility, and there are actually 3 facilities down there. They're all so wildly just overpopulated right now. And the people that they've hired to deal with this are so sub-fucking human. They're feeding these people. They can't unshackle them. It's so massively overcrowded. They can't process them in. So they haven't been processed. So they can't be unshackled. These people sat for 24 hours shackled. When they finally brought them a meal at 7 o'clock at night, it was on styrofoam plates. No, they didn't unshackle them to eat. They had them get down on their knees and eat like dogs. And that's not the worst of it. That's not the worst of it. It is so backed up. They are so incompetent. They are so far behind that they can't unload the buses when they show up. And they're holding immigrants for as long as 20. These are not criminals, folks. These are not criminals. These are just people that they've decided are too brown and they don't want them in the country. The overwhelming majority of these people are trying to do things through the system, and the system is broken. They're holding them on buses, and these buses were never designed for this. The bathrooms in these buses were designed for maybe a couple passengers to take a leak, and that's it. And you know, when you hold people on a bus for over 24 hours because you can't process them you can't even bring them into the facility. Yeah, they're overflowing the shitters in the bus. And they can't get off. There's nowhere for them to go. This is what's happening in the United States of America right now. And then we're getting stories. Christopher Daly, thanks for being here, man. Thanks for supporting the show. I really appreciate it. No humanity at all. This is the United States of America. This is the best they can do. We're getting reports back from those that were finally released from CICA down in El Salvador. And they're talking about how they were beaten multiple times a day. There's a famous clip, there's a viral clip going around on social media where one of them talks, they beat us for breakfast, they beat us for lunch, and they beat us for dinner. All done in our name. This is America. This is Trump's America. And MAGA are such shit human beings, they're good with it. They're okay. They think that's how brown people should be treated. That's who they are. But again, this is just getting drowned out by Epstein. Which, if it triggers an investigation and we finally get some people that were abusing these young girls to get prosecuted, I'm okay with that. But I just don't see Republicans doing that. They're going to protect the oligarchs. They're going to protect Trump. They have no morals. I'm Missy the Sphinx. Thanks for always being here, my friend. We're going step by step right into the Great Depression. Jerome H. Powell is just slowing it down, but even he can't stop it. Yeah, and you know, Jerome, thanks for bringing that up. Great comment. I love that you folks are informed. I love it. Jerome Powell's counterparts are doing the exact same thing he's doing. They're not lowering interest rates. They're not, because of the tariffs. There's too much instability due to tariffs for them to change monetary policy, to lower or raise interest rates. They're all saying the exact same thing. This insanity coming out of the Trump administration makes it impossible for them to lower interest rates. because it is looking like the economy is going to tank. But they're uncertain because, folks, here's the thing. They need to keep interest rates up so they have a tool in the toolbox if the economy starts to tank, which it is starting to show signs of. Lowering interest rates, making money cheaper, is one of the best tools the Fed has to help keep our economy on track, to keep us from plunging head first into depression. But here's the thing. If they lower interest rates and Trump tacos out and the economy doesn't go as far south as they think it's going to, we get hyperinflation. Cheap money. The reason interest rates came up was to fight inflation. So yeah, they're like, look, hyperinflation, and inflation, folks, is very, very, very difficult to counter. Once those prices go up, those companies don't want to lower those prices. Eggs have not come back down to where they were. That is the best example I can give you of why they are so freaked out. Jerome Powell and his counterparts all around the world are so freaked out about lowering interest rates. Is look at eggs. Eggs have never come back down to where they were. So if they lower interest rates and start causing hyperinflation, we're stuck with it forever and ever. That means goods have taken off even farther, and wages did not keep up with it. That's a recipe for disaster. But Trump knows he's tanking the economy. Trump knows it's slowing down. Everything I keep pointing out to you, they know they can't keep cooking the books. They can't keep fudging the job numbers. They know it. So Trump desperately wants Jerome Powell to start lowering interest rates. So much so that he's trying to find a way to fire the guy so he can get a yes man in there and get them to slash interest rates ahead of the economy tanking. Because he doesn't care if hyperinflation happens. He doesn't care at all. All he knows is he carries debt and he wants cheap money. Mr. Will 73, thank you for being here. New supporters are a breath of fresh air. You guys really are. You are the folks that prove that we are going to be able to make it long term. I'm always grateful to our foundational members that are here with support every show, but having you new supporters show up is everything. It is everything. Mr. Will 73, that is truly awful. Trump and his accomplices can serve 10 life sentences and still won't be enough. Modern day 30s Nazi Germany. I loathe this POS. I hear you, brother. I hear you. It's pretty much, well, the same sentiment across the board. ES44 driver, another new supporter. Thank you for being here. He wants to sell T-bills. Yeah, they are desperate. They are desperate. But yeah, this whole Epstein thing, not only is it covering the economic stuff, but there are other things happening. You've got Alina Habba got put out of a job. Trump appointed her in New Jersey, and she did exactly what she appointed him for. She started opening up bullshit cases on a bunch of Democrats. Just shit cases that weren't going to go anywhere. Just, they talk about lawfare. These right-wingers have no clue what it is. They have no clue what they've opened up here. No clue what they've made normal here. But the judges in New Jersey do. And this is the way it works, folks. You can appoint someone like Alina Habba into an interim position, but if she can't get confirmed for by Congress, she's got 120 days, and that's it. Then her appointment is over. Then the judges get to choose. And they said, get her the hell out of here. Last Tuesday was the 120-day anniversary of her appointment. They know this is a loser, and they're trying to get ahead of it. Because the DOJ retaliated, she was replaced by her assistant. So the DOJ, and just how stupid is this? This was Alina Habba's second in charge. Took over when the judges said, no, Alina Habba cannot be the prosecutor here in New Jersey. She just cannot. She's incompetent. She's stupid. She's cravenly political. This isn't going to work. But there was a lifer, a career prosecutor that was her assistant, who stepped up until they could appoint someone and have them be Senate confirmed. Nope. The DOJ fired her for retaliation. So you're not going to let us do our Alina Habba thing where she runs bullshit cases? Then we're just going to destroy your entire judicial circuit. We're going to grind everything to a halt, is what Republicans said. They don't give a damn. They're not about law and order. They're about power. They're about power. That's all. That's all. And then again, Todd Blanche, Donald Trump's Roy Cohn, comes out and makes a bunch of statements about it. And this just goes to show you how they know they can't win this. They know they can't win this, but they're so freaking desperate to not look as weak and stupid as they are, that they and of course they do know their voters are really fucking dumb. They are not you. Folks, I keep saying this over and over and over again. Going into this next election, we need to be keenly aware those people out there are not us. Speaking here, one question is all we really need, people. King Trump, why didn't you turn this guy in the second you saw the underage girl or girls? One answer, sir. Exactly. Great point. So many of these just clarify. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you for being here. But yeah, Todd Blanche puts this statement that with that article I just showed you, this is the important paragraph. He puts this out and says the district court judges in New Jersey are trying to force out Habba before her term expires. She was appointed, her term expired Tuesday if you go by the way she was appointed. They're saying, she was confirmed 2 days later. You got to go by the confirmation date, not when she's appointed. That's it. That's the crux. 2 days. That's the crux of what he's talking about here. The district court judges in New Jersey are trying to force out Habba before her term expires. A whole 2 days. Even if you're as generous as possible and say it doesn't go by her appointment date, it goes by her confirmation date, which that's not really a winning argument. But anyways, yeah, it's 2 days. That's it. You're talking about literally tomorrow. Their rush reveals that this was all about a left-wing agenda, not the rule of law. When judges act like activists, again, judicial activists, because pudding brains can remember to say judicial activists. They undermine confidence in our justice system. Alina is President Trump's choice to lead, and no partisan bench can override that, except that her term ends tomorrow. If we take your example, instead of when she was appointed, which is what everybody else does, and even take your argument, her term ends tomorrow. And no, they're not going to just re-up her for another term because she's a fucking moron. She's a political pig. She's opening bullshit cases to feed MAGA bullshit. No, the judges aren't going to participate in that. They just aren't. So here comes Todd Blanche. This is our deputy district attorney. Comes in here and starts with the judicial activism shit. That's where we are, folks. That's where we are. Could you, and again, I say this every time. Could you imagine if this was a Democrat saying stupid shit like this? Being this blatantly partisan. I mean, I'm not kidding. It's his own words. He's telling you the world is ending. It's a big liberal coup because they went by her appointment date instead of her confirmation date, which is 2 days difference. This is where we are, folks. But again, stuff like this is getting buried by Epstein. And again, I'm kind of glad it is. I mean, I hate to, this isn't more primetime coverage, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. But I will say this. I'm really disappointed this didn't get much more hang time because this is a big deal because the flooding is still going on. Part of the problem is global warming. It is. It's climate change. Normally, what happens here in the state of Texas is this time of year, July and August, a big high pressure center parks right over the top of us. That means high temperatures and no rain. But the climate changed. And the high pressure zone didn't park over the top of us. It parked further east. Louisiana, Alabama. They're seeing their rain patterns change. High pressure zone, high temperatures, low rain. Normally, by this time of year, we're begging our yards to stay alive. We're dumping water on our yards to try to keep our gardens and our grass alive. No, we're getting plenty of rain. Because that high pressure zone being farther east and the high pressure zone that's been keeping California in drought moved over, and it left a gap right here in the middle. Right here in the middle, there's a gap. There's a trough. So all the moisture that's coming out of Mexico and the Gulf of California and all of that is being funneled directly over the top of us. So my grass is green as can be. And I haven't even broken my sprinklers out of the shed yet. And this is the 23rd of July. It's a little cooler too. It's not cool, but it's a little cooler. Normally we're seeing 100-degree days by now. Not much of it. That's happening, folks. That is happening. And it's going to be that way forever and ever and ever and ever. Amen. Because there's more shit that's going to make your head explode here in a minute. But in that, what I just painted for you, that scenario where shit is changing and we're getting flooding in places that, really aren't built for it. They call it Flash Flood Alley for a reason. But we've talked about the topography and stuff. This happened. Ken Paguric. He's FEMA's head of search and rescue. He's the guy that knows what the fuck he's doing. When there's a disaster, they're normally on the ground before the disaster. They're waiting like sprinters in the starting block. 'Cause they're going to get he's quitting. He's resigning. He's had enough. He's saying puppy killer, and these Republicans he's having to deal with are such a clusterfuck that he can't do his job. It's too political. They're making demands and cuts that aren't workable. So yeah, you want this guy. You need this fucking guy. Ken Paguric is he's where the rubber meets the road when we have this flooding. And he's done. He's out. He is out. He is not doing it anymore. He said, this is not how you govern people. You can't do this. I'm not going to sit here and be forced to fail because Kristi Noem wants to service Trump's taint. And they want to give billionaire oligarchs tax cuts. So they want to tell me I can't do my job. I can't be on the ground before it happens like FEMA used to. Remember that speech Kristi Noem gave? She's like, this is the way it's going to be from now on, man. It's the states. It's the states that are going to handle this shit. Not us. These people won't be there for your hurricane. They will not be there. It took them 3 days to deploy, and they're normally on the ground 3 days before the storms hit. And now we can't even guarantee that they'll have accurate weather information to do that. You know, government is good, people. They don't invent this shit because they're, like I said, Tuesday and they're bored. It's Tuesday and they're bored. They do it for a reason. They do it to save people's lives. They do it because they have experience and they've been through this shit before. But no, we've got Trump and Elon Musk and, you know, all of these oligarch assholes that have been delusional and sold themselves that, oh man, government's bad. They just waste my money. That FEMA, that's a waste of money. Look at them people there before the accident even happens. Jesus Christ. They know not what they do because they're fucking morons. Lenore Banks, thanks for being here. American of Mexican descent with brown skin, hated by white MAGA who go to tanning salons so they can get as brown as me. Go figure. Nothing they do makes sense. Lenore, nothing they do makes sense. Nothing. Spicy Gesture, foundational member of the show. Always here, my friend. Thank you for coming in with the big support. I appreciate you. The Republican subpoena for Ghislaine Maxwell to testify feels like a setup. Justice Department will tell her to exonerate Trump in their meeting. She'll testify to his innocence before Congress and walk away with a pardon. That's what everybody's pretty much will see and coming. It's just straight up corruption. And, you know, like I said, best case scenario, you shouldn't do it because it looks inappropriate, much less the fact that we know that they were actually involved, that Trump and Epstein were actually buddy buds. I mean, we used to care about that. We used to care about how our institutions looked. We just don't anymore. Lori Yates, thank you for being here. Lori Yates, 6617, thank you for being here. Big support. Appreciate you. $50 is a lot of money. I'm truly grateful and humbled. But yeah, I mean, there are big things going on, and there are little things going on. You've got, do y'all know who Lindsay Snyder is? She's the CEO of In-N-Out Burgers. I used to like In-N-Out Burgers, but I will never put an In-N-Out burger in my mouth again as long as I live. This is just the same shit Elon did. And then she's out here talking with these people are so fucking delusional. They are. She has a company worth $7 billion. And she says, California is just too difficult to raise kids. Bitch, please. Your kids go to private schools. They have car services. You have maids that do their laundry. And you can't hack it in California, a place where, Californians are pretty fucking proud of being Californians. It's a pretty great place, you dumbass. But no, she's going to run her mouth with these stupid right-wing talking points about her family. It's all about her family. No, it's not about your fucking family. It's about you're moving your headquarters to Tennessee so you can not pay fucking taxes. You built a company just like Elon Musk did. You built a company in fucking California. You used the infrastructure. You used the people. You used the intelligence. You used everything to build your fucking empire. And you're telling them, I'm out. Because the tax bill's here because you made your money. You're a fucking whore. Just like Elon Musk. You're moving to Tennessee because they will not regulate you. You will sit there and your kids can grow up and be fucking criminals, and the goddamn Republican sheriffs will protect their fucking asses. That's what you're doing. I live here, bitch. I know what Texas is like. I know what Tennessee is like. I know exactly why you're moving here, and I fucking hate you people. You ruined my fucking state. You sons of bitches have turned my state from being one of the proudest fucking states in the union with some of the best highways and best infrastructure, best schools, into a fucking joke of a tax dodge. It's a fucking clown show here because of you cocksuckers. Fuck you. I hope you fall off a fucking mountain in Tennessee. Family my ass. I'm sorry, people, but I'm so sick. Luigi was right. Luigi was right. I'm just, hate me for saying it. So many of y'all sent me emails when I even took the goddamn Luigi Cup down, the Team Luigi Cup down. I am telling you, he was fucking right. Thank you, Marcia Klepper. I appreciate you. Fill in the cussing jar. I'm sorry, folks. It just infuriates me. She's going to sit there. She's going to build a corporation in California, find success. Great, the American fucking dream. But then you're going to run your fucking mouth because you've got to pay taxes because the very place that you took your money out of, you're now going to bitch about? Fuck you. Fuck you. And fuck In-N-Out Burger. Forever. Thanks, Mr. Pilks. I appreciate you. I mean, am I off base here, people? This is live chat. Am I off base here? I mean, I hate what these people have done to my state. I'm telling you, folks, I lived through it. I watched it happen. We went from being, man, when you would cross the Texas state line, going out, driving on the highway, you went from to because nobody had highways like we did. I grew up riding skateboards in massive drainage ditches, man, because we built infrastructure, flood infrastructure. We did it right. We had regulation. We used to be a proud state. And then they turned it into a fucking tax dodge. And that's all she's doing, folks. She's moving to Tennessee because they'll never come after her. The law will protect her out there, and she will pay no fucking taxes. She's going to say, screw California, where she built her empire. Fuck that noise, man. I hate these people. Jeremy Breeden, 77, going to need this for the customer. I appreciate you, Jeremy. I appreciate you. But that's the kind of things that are going on that are getting drowned out by Epstein. And it's not just that. It's this. This is huge, folks. This is huge. This is huge. When Lee Zeldin was put in over the EPA, we knew it was going to be ugly. We did. We knew it was going to be ugly. But this is bad. Demetrius Cephas, 7485. Thanks for supporting the show. Thank you, Texas Paul. I'm a proud Californian for the cussing jar. Thank you. Thank you. V-Man 29397. Texas hasn't had competent leadership since the days of Ann Richards. You need to get back to competent leaders like that. Well, I'm working on it, brother. I am fighting tooth and nail. I am fighting tooth and nail. This is a big deal, folks. The EPA, there's a legal precedent called the endangerment finding. And what it basically says is that greenhouse gases are proven to be a danger. It's that simple. It's not complicated. They said the science is there. Greenhouse gases are doing damage, which is causing weather changes like, I don't know, flooding in the middle of July in Texas and across the country, where we've seen flooding from, like I said, Texas all the way up to fucking Maine. They used the science and they said, okay, because it's a danger and we have an endangerment finding, we can regulate greenhouse gases under the Clean Air Act. Lee Zeldin says, nah. We're going to revisit that. We're going to say there is no endangerment finding. Therefore, we can regulate no greenhouse gases at all. Not from your cars. No more emission standards, not from your big coal and them power plants is back. Doesn't matter what your power plants belch out anymore. Yeah, that's it. That is environmental game over. It's one of those things that Democrats always protected when they had power, that they told you the Republicans were fighting, that for some reason people felt comfortable enough to say, you need to teach them Democrats a lesson because they're just not good enough on my one issue. Well, yeah, they do 98% of what I want, but that one issue is important. So I'm not going to vote for them. Well, guess what? It's fucking game over for the environment. You had Democrats that would do it. You had Republicans that were telling you, we're going to get rid of that shit so Johnny Got Rocks will keep writing us big fucking checks, because then he won't have any regulation, won't pay any fines or anything like that. And he'll give us a little taste of that. So we're going to get plenty of money. And you took power from the Democrats. And the dumbest of the dumb that told you not to show up and vote in the last election will go over social media and for some fucking reason will say, this is the Democrats' fault. Why aren't the Democrats stopping this? Because they fucking can't. Do you not know what a democracy is? Do you not know how government works? You gave the Republicans power, and now they're doing all the shit that we told you they were going to do. And we knew it because we were fighting them and stopping them from doing it. But the dumbest of the dumb among us, well, what are the Democrats doing? What are the Democrats doing? This! They've been doing this! They've been keeping the EPA empowered to regulate greenhouse gases. And that's gone now. Folks, we have got to not just give the Democrats a slight majority in the midterms. We need to decimate the Republicans. We need to give the Democrats super majorities so they can counter all of this crap and do it legally. V-Man, 29397, man, thank you for all the support today. You've been here coming out strong, brother. U.S. history YouTuber Mr. Beat put Ann Richards on his list of top 10 governors in U.S. history. Was she that good of a governor? She was an excellent governor. And I will tell you this. I will take a minute just to explain to you why she was an excellent governor. She was a realist. She really was. She was that rare combination of somebody that could speak to people and reach them and get them excited and get them to understand. But she wasn't screwing industry. She wasn't like out there on the fringes. She was a middle of the road, keep the lights on, get shit done, make sure you got a job. Governor. She was just effective. She had common sense. She was a great governor. She really was a great governor. But Republicans were so goddamn greedy that wasn't enough. They had to have a government that would serve them and only them, not the people of Texas, just the oligarchs. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like that old commercial. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? When I tell you this is what they want to do, can you hear me now? Ginger Red Shoes, thank you for being here. Contribution to the swear jar. Well, thank you. So let's talk about gerrymandering a little bit. I have to say, I wanted to cry the other day. I did. I was just I fell back in my chair. You know, when I went to work here doing what I do, it was to change us primarily, not them. I don't hold out any hope for them. I don't. I know those people. I know what they are. I know how they got the way they are. No, my goal was to change us, to make us more like Ann Richards. To be quite honest with you. Mr. Will, supermajority is a must. Absolutely. That was my goal. That's why I started doing this so many years ago. And I got so active. And this gerrymandering thing, I mean, I almost brought tears to my eyes. It really did. I was watching Beto O'Rourke the other day just go off the deep end about don't wait for Texas, because that's the plan. What Texas is doing, if you don't know right now, they've got a special session. They're supposed to be dealing with the fallout from the floods. But what they're doing is they are blackmailing everybody. You can't have your flood money unless you sign off on our bogus bullshit map that redistricts about 5 Democrats out of a seat. No flood money unless you sign off on our map first. Democrats are saying, say it one more time, and we will walk out and deny you a quorum. There will be no flood money. Period. What, you've got the governor of New Jersey now talking about jumping on the bandwagon with gerrymandering. I'm hearing rumblings that Governor Pritzker may get involved. You're talking about some biggies here. And of course, you've had Gavin Newsom that's already started the ball rolling, saying, look, we will counter everything you've done with gerrymandering. We will redraw these maps, and we will make you have blackmailed everybody for one, and then gerrymandered and cheated for nothing, because we will counter it all. That was something you did not hear before. I always make fun of, the way Democrats say, let me tell you about my policies. Democrats didn't get dirty. No, they did not do that. We pointed at Republicans. We told you they were bad people for doing the things they did, but we did not grab our bats and we did not go low. They went low. We just talked bad about them. That's over. That is over. Not only are they talking about, and I mean actually taking the steps to actually get the votes out there and the things that they have to do, because California has to have a constitutional amendment to allow them to partisanly rewrite these districts. Not only are they moving on all that stuff, you're actually having conversations now where they're saying that's what we should be doing. That's the right thing to do. We're not doing a bad thing just because they're doing a bad thing. We're accepting the reality of this is the fight now, and we need to fight as hard or harder than they do. And I have to tell you, that literally, I have spent years trying to get the Democratic Party here. And I am so proud that I don't even know the right words for it. I'm so proud that, yeah, this is who we are now. Oh, you want a gerrymander? Fine, sit back and watch it. Hold my beer, bitch. Proud Texas liberal. From 2006 to 2007, we lost Molly Ivins, Ann Richards, and Lady Bird Johnson. We never recovered. If y'all don't know who Molly Ivins is, she was absolutely the best. The whole bless your heart thing, that was Molly Ivins, man. She is the best. She was the best. She was a writer lived down in Austin. She really was wonderful. She was a tremendous loss. She was the one that told Clayton Williams, bless your heart. I mean, it was a moment here. You just have to understand. Chiron 1, thank you for being here. Never been a fan of In-N-Out. Here's for the swear jar or whatever thieves you need, or whatever things you need it for. I got what you mean there, brother. I got what you mean. I appreciate you, Gojo. Love to see Gojo 11207, new supporter. Thank you for being here, brother. I really appreciate you. That is the one that you new folks are what gives me heart, man. I know we're gonna keep growing and keep moving every time I see one of you new folks. I know we're gonna be okay. Rose Blue 4205 PBS a play called And It's Good. Watch it. Absolutely. Mr. Pilks, dibs have to sweep across your nation. I really want to see my friends, but there's no way I'm setting one foot in the nectarine nuisances America today. I understand that, brother. I do understand that. First president in our history to have us put on the human rights watch list. Totally get it. Lori Yates, so many good governors, but great disappointment in many that are better than that. Thank you for supporting the show. Colleen Sarah 8364 won't back down, fuck around and flip the house with Elizabeth Warren and Maxwell Frost for August 23 Papillion. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean there. You have to tell me in the chat. Nebraska excited. Northeast excited. Any excited. I don't know if that's Nebraska or Northeast. I don't know what you mean there. Tell me about it in the chat. But yeah, folks, the gerrymandering thing, I am so excited to see that Democrats are finally waking up to the fact that, yeah, that's what we need to do. I've been screaming for this, clawing for it, and I've taken so much shit, so many emails saying, that's bad, and I don't want to be bad, and Republicans are bad for doing that, and we're no better than they are, and what about our country? And you know what? It's really this simple. It's kind of like when Trump says, this made up shit about how we somehow cheated, yet we cheated but didn't take the offices. We cheated and left, Biden president, but lost Congress. I mean, come on, man. That's bullshit. It's made up bullshit. But to see the Democrats turn that corner, to understand this is a knife fight. This is a fight for, as Beto O'Rourke said, if this had been 30 years ago, I would agree with you. Gerrymandering is bad. We should probably just fight against gerrymandering. But this is a fight for our country. Because we know if Democrats win, they're not going to do what Republicans do. They're going to keep the buses running on time. They're going to keep the lights on. They're going to keep, pollution regulations in place. They're going to make sure your Social Security stays there. They're going to make sure people have basic health care. Folks, I want to talk about health care for just a second and what Democrats will do versus what Republicans will do. And that comment that we get from those same people that said, oh, don't turn out. And the Democrats, they're running their mouths even today. They don't even have the shame to shut the fuck up from the last election. They don't have enough shame in them to just shut the fuck up. They're still running their mouths. Let's talk about healthcare. The Affordable Care Act, that was Romney Care. That wasn't ours. That wasn't what we wanted. Damn sure wasn't what Hillary Clinton tried to get us. That was the Republican bill. That was Romney Care from when he was governor. What they did in his state. That's all the Affordable Care Act is. So you want to talk about gerrymandering and what our country will be if we start being as bad as Republicans? No, if we gerrymander, you get universal health care. You get strong schools. Because it was the Republicans that kept us from having universal health care. It is the Republicans' fault that we ended up with the Affordable Care Act. I know a lot of people are like, they love to call it Obamacare and they love President Obama, this, that, and the other. But shit, man, all he got done was some Republican bills. And I love Barack Obama, but he wasn't that damn effective. Seeing the way Democrats are fighting now, oh yeah, I can see us getting what we want. Taking enough seats that they can't fuck us. And we can get what we want. Real health care. Real infrastructure. Not the shit they always saddle us with. So yeah, when I say it choked me up to see Democrats actually talking about mandering, man, I've been fighting for this for years, trying to get us here. And I am so damn proud that they finally made it. Yeah, this is going to be a good thing. Keep pushing, keep calling, keep telling them, gerrymander away. Fight fire with fire. Hell, don't just fight fire with fire. Fight their little fire with a freaking inferno. Spicy Jester, these Republicans are determined to rule over a wasteland of poverty. This filth calls themselves Christian, yet violate everything Jesus represents. For many will come in my name, a wolf in sheep's clothing. Yep. Well said, sir. Well said. ET, remember the majority of registered voters did not vote in 24. Our task, get them to the polls so that we can supermajority, time to do that work. Yeah, folks, because let me tell you something. Gerrymandering doesn't matter in the Senate. That's only in the House. That's only House districts. Gerrymandering doesn't matter in statewide races. For governor, doesn't matter. That's our turnout. That's all that matters in those races. Senate races, that's statewide. Every state has 2 senators, and there's no district. Jordan, M83, immigration has tourism down 20 billion, and FIFA slowly moving 2026 games out of the U.S. What will happen with the 2028 Olympics? Yeah. Folks, this is not looking good. This is not looking good. We have to take the midterms. We're on a bad road. We're on a very bad road. Anyways, folks, that's what I have for you today. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed being here with you. I hope you find it useful. If you can, take a moment to hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button. That will get this out to as many people as possible. Share this far and wide on social media so we can get more people in here like us, like-minded people that keep in touch, that stay informed. I don't want a bunch of dregs in here any more than you do. We'll weed out. We'll separate the wheat from the chaff. Let's keep our community growing, folks. And thank you for always being here. And again, can't do it without you. Rose Blue coming out big. New supporter coming out big. First time for Texas to become 5 states per 1847 agreement. Yeah, the 6 flags over Texas, right? Yeah. No, I'm not for that. I love my state, my big, beautiful state. Time for us to take it back and make it as good as it used to be. On that note, enjoy some Texas cities at night.